I'm going to do a little bit of a different video. So I did a distillery tour back in January, on January 26th. This one wasn't whiskey. It's a little bit different. I found this as I was looking up different distilleries in Texas. Happened to find this specific one. It's called Desert Door Distillery. Show you the bottle here. There'll be some other pictures of the bottle as well. I did have some pictures and video of when I was at the distillery. Somehow that got lost. I still have a couple of pictures, but I'll post those throughout the video. But this is a spirit called Sotol, and we'll get a little closer there, or maybe this side here. So Sotol is a plant that grows here in Texas and in Mexico. And this distillery is actually the only, at least according to them, the only distillery in the United States that does this particular spirit. Any other Sotol that you buy in a liquor store is going to come from Mexico. So this is from a plant called the Sotol plant, and it looks similar to the, kind of similar to the agave plant, but the leaves are a lot thinner. They're in the same family. Matter of fact, the family is asparagus, which is kind of weird, but I'll try to get a picture posted of that. What's really cool about this is that this is a clear spirit. So this is not, I wouldn't call it a sipping spirit. It's more of something that you would put in a mixed drink, a cocktail, something with like a fruit juice type cocktail. When we were there, my wife and I, she had one with grapefruit juice in it and a few other, I think it had bitters and something else, but it was actually pretty good. Basically what they do with the plant is, and what's another nice thing about it is that it's a renewable resource, so they don't harvest the entire plant. So what they do is they get the heart of the plant, they leave the roots, and then it grows back. And after years of it growing, then they re-harvest it. They do all the harvesting, so they don't have a farm there where they grow the Sotol. They actually harvest it wild. So they hire people to go out, get the plants, harvest the hearts, bring it back to the distillery, and then what they do is they take the leaves off, and so you'll just have this, and I'll show a picture of it. It'll be like a ball, whatever size of the heart, and they'll steam that. So they'll steam the heart. After the heart gets steamed, they put it in this masher basically, and what it does is it squeezes all of the nectar, if you want to call it that, because they actually call it Sotol nectar. Kind of looks like a syrup or a honey or something like that, but it has this real earthy flavor and nose. They let us taste it while we were there at the distillery. Had a real strong black coffee note. Wasn't bad, something that kind of an acquired taste. You either like it or you don't like it. My wife didn't like it too much. I thought it was okay, but it's non-alcoholic, so it's just like this syrup that they as they put pressure on these hearts that have been steamed, it kind of like juices these things. Then what they do is they take that and they ferment that, and that's where they start getting into turning it into alcohol. And then after it's gone through the fermentation process, then they put it through the still, and then they bring it to 40 proof. So this is 80 proof, 40% ABV, as you can see there. And they do also have an aged version of this where they age it in new white oak barrels. I did get to try that while I was at the distillery. Unfortunately, they didn't sell bottles of it at the distillery. This bottle right here, the clear, this one was at the distillery, $55, and it's not bad. I probably wouldn't go out and buy Sotol again. It's not something that I would normally enjoy. It's not quite tequila. If you want to compare it to anything, you really can't compare it to anything. But the closest thing would be like a tequila, but it's a whole different flavor. It's really earthy. When I took a sip of this, I imagine that's probably what the plant would have tasted like if I just ripped the plant out of the ground and took a bite out of it or something to that effect. Real earthy, vegetal, but it's not bad. and it's not strong. And, you know, it's easy to, you could sip it. It doesn't burn as it's going down. Pretty nice. I like the, you know, I just really like the bottle. Is you know, this is a porcelain bottle. It's got this old style like milk jug top on it. It's pretty cool. But going back to the aged one, I did get to try the aged one, and that one was really good. It was something that I would like to have purchased a bottle of. They didn't have it there. It also had that earthy coffee type note, but then it had some, because it was aged in new oak barrels, it had kind of those bourbon type notes as well. So there's a little bit of vanilla, cinnamon, those types of things mixed in with that earthy vegetal note that you get from the Sotol. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I did find a local, I think it was either Twin Liquor or Specs in the Austin area, that did have the aged one, but it was almost $100, so it wasn't that good in my opinion to buy $400. So unfortunately, I didn't get a bottle of that. Now, if they would have had it at the distillery, I don't know, it's just something about visiting the distillery and picking up a bottle from the distillery. I probably would have paid that at the distillery if they had the barrel aged one, but this is the one they had, and I just felt like I was there. You know, they're about between 80 and 90 miles south of where I live, so it was a little bit of a drive to get there. And so, you know, we spent a Saturday out there. They had some live music there, up and coming country artist. I'm not really into country, but it wasn't bad. And they had another artist out there. I forgot her name, but I've seen her on YouTube. She does paintings of like bottles and glasses and things like that, whiskey bottles, wine bottles, that type of thing. So had a good time out there. I got a shirt for my daughter, and then I really like this because it's not a Glencairn glass, but it's a little tasting glass that they have, a little different shape. You can see there they have their logo on there and their name, Desert Door Distillery. So kind of a nice shaped glass. I've used it a few times. Still like my Glencairns, but since they didn't have a Glencairn, I figured I'd get something that had their name on it. So if you live in Texas and you like trying things that are different and new, something that, you know, I've never even heard of Sotol before I found them on the internet. So I wanted to try it. I will drink this. I'll, you know, make my wife likes it with cranberry juice, so I'll try that and see. Still a whiskey guy, but I do like different spirits, you know, rum, tequilas, this Sotol. All right, so again, from the pictures that I did have left over that didn't get lost, I will try and spread those out through the video, trying to make this one not so long. If you get a chance, go down there. They're in Driftwood, Texas is where they're at. So check them out. It's a nice little distillery. They're really friendly. Their staff is friendly. It's a nice little tour. And you'll learn something that maybe you didn't know anything about. Or if you've heard of Sotol and have Sotol, or know of a different brand that might be your favorite, hey, hit me up in the comments. We'll talk a little bit about Sotol. All right, so you guys take care. Have a good one.